Howdy, howdy. What was that about? I'd like to say howdy.
How you doing?
See what he said.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine, just fine. How about you? We were asking them. She's confusing me. Hello, everybody. This is Glenda,
Buster.
and Rosie with AKA GK Fralin.
A friendly community.
And our friendly community welcomes you. I think I'm the only sane one in this bunch. Well, somebody has to be. Who? Okay. I'll behave myself, but it's hard. She's too old for this. No, I am not. I am not too old to be silly, and I haven't been for a long time. Ask them. Is she too old to be silly? Oh, no.
I can tell you, Rosie. I don't think she'll stop being silly no matter how old she gets. She's just a goofy gal.
Okay. Last night, when I was reading, we found out the innkeeper's name is Catch for a very good reason. Or at least that's what he's called. Because he's an ornery feller and he's always trying to catch people up in something or another. Anyway, he is now showing Sheridan to her room. He's tried to tell her what her name means, and she's like, I already know what it means. It means searcher, or to search. Okay. She's still mad about the credit card, but she's tired. And he's taking her to her room. So, the last thing they said is, okay, he had just shown her, she wanted to know how he knew her name, and he had just shown her the name tag on her tote that he was carrying. Oh, that works too. A deep yawn escaped her as he opened the door to her room. I guess I'm more tired than I thought. It's ridiculous to think you're keeping me a prisoner. I will have to report that card stolen, you know. You are in big trouble. That's frowned upon in Nebraska, you know. Okay. He said nothing else about it. Just that one word. Okay. Does this man think he's untouchable? Sheridan noticed symbols on the wall plaque beside the door. What is this all about? Sheridan pointed to the plaque. It looks like some kind of ancient symbolic script. She traced the symbols lightly with her fingers. The contrast overwhelmed her. The new early American style furnishings of the suite took her by surprise. The bathroom door stood open, revealing all the gadgets of the most elegant of hotels. She made her way to the bathroom door and saw a walk-in tiled shower, a large vanity complete with ornate mirror, soaker tub, built-in hairdryer, and a plush rug. The bathtub was large enough for two people with body massaging jets. Wow, this is something that I plan to take advantage of right away. She turned and smiled back at Catch. There were even bottles of her favorite brands of shampoo, lavender soaps, and candles sitting on the marble counter. Sheridan suddenly remembered the violation Catch perpetrated on her property. The old man smiled. "You didn't think we were all backward, did ya?" Catch seemed to have an endless repertoire of wisecracks to suit his chosen persona. He even added a hitch in his get-along to go with the old hillbilly. Catch deposited the toad on the bench in a spacious closet. "This doesn't make up for the card you destroyed." "Expired." "Expired? I have until the end of the month before it expires."
Close enough.
He's irritating, isn't he? "You're not talking so cocky now. Are you a little scared?"
Ha, hardly.
Sheridan's energy drained, so she had none left for arguing. Looking around the room, Sheridan noticed a large portrait of the same odd flower as on the door knocker. The room was like a dream from her youth. The color scheme and design of the room were in her favorite colors and styles. The early American, the very light taupe and blues and pastels. She loved pastels. Thinking of finally getting a chance to call Michael, she noticed there was no phone, television, or even a radio. "Mr. Catch, I'd hoped for a telephone to call my friend in Lincoln. I don't see any in the room." "No need to be so formal, just call me Catch." He drew in a deep breath. "We live simply here. We don't use phones, cars, or any of those things that make the world move so fast out there in the world." "Don't you have a telephone downstairs for emergencies?" "I'm afraid it isn't working, and I don't know when it'll be fixed. We have an old two-way radio. I'll see if I can get that working." Catch replied, "You should get some rest and something to eat. You aren't expected today, are you?" "No, not particularly. My friend is used to me not checking in for a day or two. This isn't the first spot I've been in where I couldn't get a signal." Why did I tell him that, she thought. It's not exactly information you give to someone you don't trust. Catch started to leave the room, then looked back. "You are here because you are supposed to be here," he said almost in a whisper as he started out the door. "What does that mean?" He kept walking down the hall. "What does that mean?" "Enjoy your room. You will find everything you need." "Wait, don't I get a key?" "No need for them around here." The old man turned his back to her and continued on his way. Sheridan was alone in a lavish room, done up as if they decorated it exclusively for her. How odd. She made a deep sigh and looked around the room. A chair at a little table fit perfectly under the doorknob. There. A bath sent warm relaxation through her body. The water gently rolled over each part as she twisted, and nearly swam in luxury. Stepping out on the rug, her feet sank so deep that it tickled the top of her feet. In the closet, a robe of pink silk slid over her body like a caress. Sheridan forgot her fears, her anger, her frustration, and fell into a welcome calm she felt when she first arrived. The flower portrait on the wall detailed more of the subject. The leaves were heart-shaped with red veins. The petals were feathery and white. The artist had painted a yellow gold stamen as if it shone like burnished gold. She was curious about the designer who could have dreamed up such a beautiful theme for the hide in. Without thinking, Sheridan found herself sniffing at the painting as if she'd inhale the fragrance of the flower. Oddly enough, she found it smelled like a freshly cut lilac that the painter must have included into his paint. She pulled her laptop from its tote and filled 2 pages of her journal. Her writing was a mess of the day's events. She started doubting her own impressions of the innkeeper. Maybe the card had expired. She typed it all into the notes and set it aside for her return to Lincoln. She concluded with a note to Michael so she'd remember to tell him how she cared for him before hitting him with the craziness of the day. Sheridan loved Michael, and she knew he loved her. Their love was companionable rather than electric, but just as heartfelt and deep. Her eyes drooped, and soon she was nodding off in the desk chair. Her stomach groaned in protest. So she got a banana from the immense fruit and cheese basket on the table by the sofa, then slid between the silk sheets of the huge soft bed. As she tried to think through the muddle of circumstances, she drifted in and out until the day gave way to slumber. And that is the end of chapter 1.
I still don't trust that old guy. I'll bet that card really didn't expire.
Well, at least not to the end of the month, like she said.
It's not nice to mess with other people's property, is it?
No, it's not. Just think if someone stole my collar and chopped it up, I'd be so mad.
Well, Sheridan was pretty mad, but she got so tired, she just couldn't be mad anymore.
Oh, I've done that.
You just wear yourself out being,
Mad.
yeah, it takes a lot of energy. But she had every good reason to be mad at the time. And then he didn't even give her a key.
That was weird too, even in a little place like that.
Well, it is time to go. So, shall we do our thing?
Sure.
Yeah, Rosie likes this song.
Good night, good night.
Don't let the bugs bite.
Good night, good night.
Sleep till the daylight.
Good night, good night.
Be kind to each other.
Good night, good night.
Tell someone you love him. Don't forget to smile.
And wave.
We will see you tomorrow. Please do subscribe if you have not. And don't forget to click that little notifications button.